Everyone, welcome back to the unit. I know I said in the last video with Kelsey that was probably going to be the last video for the year, but I don't think it is. She told me, I told her the stuff I want to do to my motorcycle and how Wally's going to give me a hand with it. And she's out having a girls' day with one of her good friends, and she's like, "Why don't you just get started?" I was thought about it. I was like, I should, because if I don't start this project, it's not going to get done. Now, no, it's not the dirt bike yet. The dirt bike's going to cost me $300 to $400 to get done, if not $5 to $6, depending on which route I go with the valves and the machine work. Depends who puts the valve guides in. But we're going to work on the motorcycle, on my Suzuki, because the Harley, that project's more Kelsey's, and we're going to pick out parts for her bike. Not so much modifications, but little things to make it her bike, not her dad's bike, because it was her dad's, handed down to her. We're talking like some blackout bars, different foot pegs or floorboards, if you will. Stuff like that. Little things to make it hers, make it unique to her. So mine, we're going to pull the dirt bike off the stand. We're going to get the Suzuki on the stand. And when I get it on the stand, I'll break down what it is exactly we're going to start doing today. All right, now that we have the dirt bike is off the stand, we got the VL on the stand, I can tell you what we're doing. So we are going to take the fake swing arm piece off. We're going to take the rear wheel out, the rear final drive, and the drive shaft out today. I think this cover might have to come off. I think that'll be everything I need to do is just the fake swing arm cover, and then the final drive and the wheel should come out pretty easily. I'm gonna have to dig in there eventually to do the 3-inch lowering kit, which I don't have yet, but I will get ordered. So today we're just breaking down. This is gonna be episode 1 of 4 or 5 for my bike alone. So yeah, that's where we're starting. We're going to start tearing this thing apart. Because if I don't start tearing this apart, spring will come. I'm just going to ride it how it was. And I actually want to do stuff to this bike now. So full list is obviously full service, spark plugs. And the reason why we're taking the final drive and everything off is I'm doing a VS 1400 mod. Or the DJ mod, depending on what group of forum you go on. What it does is it stretches out the gears. So when I'm at 80 mile an hour on the interstate, it'll drop 14% in the RPM range, which is, I think they say it's 600 RPM drop on the top end. You still have a good amount of your bottom end and your mid left, but it'll stretch everything out a little bit. And that's what I want, is when I'm on the interstate or the highway, I don't want this thing revving to the moon. Yeah, it's built for it. I don't like it. When that's getting started, we are going to remove the tank. The tank's going to get painted, so don't mind the fact that I just cracked it with my ring. The PIR valve is coming out. Come to the other side. We are going to finish taking the airbox off. We're going to do a complete naked jug mod, so nothing's going to be here on the jugs. We're going to put a mono pod filter straight on the carb, so it cleans all of this up. All you're just going to see, I think this actually gets removed as well. I'm not sure. Nope, that's the fuel pump. That stays. But this is gone, and it's going to be a lot cleaner look. So I'm going to get the tools ready, We're going to set up time lapse, and we're going to start getting this final drive and the rear wheel off. All right, so we got the fake swing arm piece off. Not sure if we're going to put that back on. I was just explaining to Kelsey how guys leave that off because you have to do a lot of machining to it with flap discs and grind discs, cut a bunch of metal out of it. They don't feel like doing it because this, not only is this the drive shaft tube, but it's also part of the rear swing arm, which is part of this giant slab of steel back here. So it's really not needed. I've done a lot of research on doing this mod, and a lot of guys just leave that off because, hold on, because it's just a pain in the ass to have to fucking machine all that down, make it smooth. You put it on, take it off, put it on. I'm not dealing with all that. Like this is the bolt hole where this thread's in, so I can just get a plug for that and polish up the axle bolt. That'll be fine. So it's not needed. That, and when you take off this shitty little cover, you see all your tire size and air pressures that are needed. Like, why would you hide this? This should be somewhere you could see. Oh, another thing the wife didn't know, and when I got this bike from Hunter, the guy who sold it to me, still has the factory toolkit in it, which is fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna lower the stand a little bit, and it's these 3 bolts and the axle bolt. The whole final drive comes out. So I'm gonna set you guys back up for the time lapse and get that out. All right, everyone, so I have the brace, the rear brake, the axle out, all of that done on the opposite side. If you saw the time lapse, if any of the time lapse is working. Got the axle nut out. So now it's just these 3 bolts here. We're going to do that with you guys live.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, I have a manual for this, but this is straightforward. This is nothing.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Pretty much. You tell none of this has ever been taken apart. It's crazy how there's not that much torque on any of this.
Probably wear after time. Things loosen up. That's the plastic.
Oh yeah, this is ready to roll right out. As I'm blocking the camera. Oh well. Where'd that come from? Oh, I know where it came from. 2, 3. Alright, move all these nuts and bolts out of the way. Washers. This is the cool thing that I told Kelsey about when I got my stand fixed. That's why that's there. There we go. remember right, this should just... That works too. Bearings look good. I mean, it's dirty, but everything in there looks good. Because I only use my rear brakes. I hate using my front brakes. You guys can give me shit for it in the comments. I don't use my front brakes when I ride. My rears are going to have to be done. These pads are shit. So, not a big deal. Those are cheap. These are easy to do. It's the springs. Yeah. Ooh, and that tire needs to be done. See that edge?
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting pretty.
You need a new one.
Yeah. So it's a good thing we're doing this now, because I would have just got on this in the spring and rode it. And this tire would have been a square, which would have sucked. So we got the rear off. Because it is spoked, because it is tubed, I'm not changing this tire. I will pay someone to change this tire. It's not going to be that much. These bearings feel really fucking good. So that doesn't need to be done. And there we have it. We just got to get this shaft out, because what we got to do is, for this mod to work, the guy, Wally, has to take 3/8 of an inch off the top of these splines, 3/8 of an inch off of this collar, and then that makes the VL800 or the C50, depending on if it's an 03, I think it's a 2000, 2003, they're VLs, 04 and up, they're C50s, but they're practically the same bike, they just switched to fuel injection. Then this shaft will be perfect for the VS 1400 final drive, which gives me longer gears. So we do have to change this gasket, probably change some seals in here. I'm going to look at my manual, make sure I take the shaft out properly without destroying anything. Yeah, that's pretty much what I came in here to do today. That was not that long. I think we're only an hour into Akira, so didn't take the 2 hours like I planned, which is good. And then if we come in here, this link here, I don't know if you guys will be able, yep, there it is. This link, and then one on the opposite side. Those are what get changed for the 3-inch lower to drop the bike 3 inches, which I am ecstatic about. And then I'll have to take the bars off, but you take this cap out. You take the 14 millimeter Allen head bolt out of the, it's the spring retainer bolt out of the fork. You can do this still on the bike. I'll take the springs out, and you guys can roast me in the comments for this one too. I'm going to go rice with it, which another guy has done, and instead of spending $200 on new springs, I'm cutting 5 rounds of the coil out. It's a Honda thing, it's rice, it's blah blah blah. It's fine. People have been cutting coils to make cars lower since the hot rod days. Shut the fuck up. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to do that till I get the 3-inch lowering kit, because I don't want to have a squat bike. So yeah, that's where we're at. Next video, as long as the weather is still decent, we will get the tank off, we will get the PIR valve off, and we'll start all of that for the Naked Jugs mod. But I've been rambling, talking everyone's ear off. Thanks for hanging out, and we will be back next week with a bike park video with Zoe, and possibly more tearing my motorcycle apart to the point where I regret my decisions. See you guys in the next one.